Ladies and gentlemen, Remix family, we are back with a brand new guest, a brand new interview. I'm excited to introduce Prasad Bhat. Let me go ahead and bring him right into this room. Prasad, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I don't know how to change my thumbnail.
Don't worry. We'll do that in
Yeah.
post. Don't worry. We'll put a nice thumbnail up for you.
How are you doing?
Good, man. How's everything over there?
Oh, good. It's okay. There's Omicron happening, and
Yeah.
luckily it's not killing as many people, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's always a
Uh,
positive thing. before
yeah, it
before we get
is.
into this, Prasad, there's going to be some people who watch this video who may not know who you are. Could you give a little introduction to yourself and who you are?
Yeah, sure. Oh, my name is Prasad, Prasad Bhat, and I've been making art for the last 15 years. I'm from India, and I'm very obsessed with human faces, how each human looks different. And I've been capturing people ever since I was a kid. I used to draw my dad a lot,
Oh, wow.
and cheer him up. He used to be stressed all the time, like typical middle class dad, stressed about taxes and whatnot. And I
Yeah.
used to draw him, and that used to make him smile. And I think that was the driving force. And yeah, I did my engineering because that's what Indian kids do. uh, you're just given two choices. This is what
Yeah.
you do. You take up engineering, or you be a doctor, or you get out. I wouldn't say my parents weren't supportive. They were supportive. They said that if you want to do art, you can. But I could see that they weren't 100% on it,
Right.
because I mean, now that I'm a dad, I know the hardships of being an artist. So even if my son comes to me and says he wants to be an artist, I would be terrified and really worried, because it is a nightmare.
Yeah.
If things work out, it's great, but otherwise, So my parents were, of course, they they were confused and worried, and to an extent, even I couldn't really stand up for myself at that age. You're like
So
15,
young.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't take that plunge. At that age, you're not really certain that this is what I want to be. And also, there's a lot of peer pressure, because
Of course.
your friends and your cousins are all engineers, and you don't want to be, not that it
Don't.
mattered. I was quite a loner back then, but it's still, I somehow wanted to fit in. So I did my engineering, and yeah, that was interesting. It was, I mean, it has helped. I mean, you see engineers doing all sorts of things,
Of
because it
course.
teaches you, it teaches you to write an algorithm for anything you want to be, step by step, procedure. So I did my engineering. I graduated, but I didn't get a job, which seems great for now. I mean, it's good that I didn't get a job, because things worked out. But back then, it was terrible. I wasn't getting a job. My parents were going through a divorce, and then my girlfriend left me. So all these hardships sort of pushed me to going back to making art, which I had completely forgotten, by the way. 4 years of engineering makes you forget that you were ever an artist. So I just got back home. I was all by myself. I was renting this small little room for myself, and I just started drawing. I downloaded Photoshop, and I didn't stop. Ever since then, I haven't stopped. So
So
yeah,
so the
quite
the
a.
entire 4 years of engineering you didn't draw.
I did actually. I used to doodle
Okay.
back. I was a backbencher, and I used to doodle. And I remember this one time I drew this teacher who was who was a scary guy. I mean, you don't want to mess with him, because he was one of those guys that everybody becomes quiet when he's in the class. He was a very strict teacher. He used to beat us up. We were in engineering, and he used to beat us up. So used to beat up grown ass men. So I remember drawing his caricature, and it got passed on to everyone, and everyone started giggling. I don't know. I don't remember what I precisely made, but I made his caricature, and it reached the first bench, and he caught hold of that caricature, and he came up to me and it's like, did you do this? And I was like, fuck yes, I did this. And then he just folded that thing, that paper, that small piece of paper, and he put it in his pocket. And
Oh wow.
yeah. And then I walked down the corridor. I saw him. I just passed by the teachers, the department, whatever, the room, and I saw him with other teachers having a good laugh looking at it. So, it was, I think that those are the things that sort of helped me realize that maybe there's something to this. And no one's
Absolutely.
going to tell you that, by the way. No one's going to truly tell you unless your parents do. I mean, that sort of encouragement can come only from your parents and maybe your girlfriend or your wife. But
Yep.
you know yeah, so those are the things that I latched onto, and I continued making art. And I started by making art for bands. I used to be in a metal band, so those were my only
Really?
friends. Yeah, so they were like, hey man, you want to do this metal art cover? So I was like, yeah, cool, I'll do it. And they were all buddies, and I guess they felt bad for me, or they were like, let's give him some work. So yeah, so I used to make metal artworks, and then I got into making caricatures again. And yeah, rest is history. I mean, I did some odd jobs here and there, graphic designing, and that's how I learned Illustrator. And I didn't have money to buy, a tablet,
Right.
so I learned to draw all of these using the mouse. And for some reason, it
Holy.
has sort of, yeah, everything you see
Wow.
online. There's not a single piece of art that you see that's come from me is from a tablet. It is all done by mouse, and it has its limitations, but those limitations have sort of added to my style. You
Of
know,
course. Of course.
so sometimes your limitation becomes your unfair advantage over others, and yeah, it's beautiful the way it has worked out.
No, that's amazing. I love the story. Before I go to my next question, what did you play in
Yeah.
the metal band? What instrument?
Well, I used to play the guitars, and
Wow.
I used to be the front man, and
Oh, wow. Okay.
I used to always get into fights with the drummer because that's how it is. The drummer and the vocalist never get along because
So you were like a Freddie Mercury, huh?
not really, not as good. I mean, I was okay. I think the last gig we did was we opened for Lamb of God. I'm not sure if you heard of that band.
No, is it a popular band out there?
It's a very popular band from America.
Oh,
So we
wow.
opened for them. And yeah, that was the last gig. And I remember the vocalist, Randy Blake. We hung out. That was a good closure, I would say. And but there's no money in metal music to begin with, and you can imagine in India how bad it must be. It's just terrible right now for music. It's really bad. So I'm just trying to actually figure out how to build bridges, into the
Right.
NFT world, because musicians are having a tough time because of this COVID
Of course.
crisis. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess this is a perfect entry to the next question. Like, what are NFTs to you? Like what does that word NFT like mean to you?
Oh, I don't know. First of all, I got into this because, to be very honest, I got into this because I saw the news that people made tons of money, and
Most people did, I'm
I
sure.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think most people do. I mean, don't believe an artist who says I'm here for the art. Then just upload JPEGs on Instagram, on Behance. Why are you on
Yeah.
in the NFT space? Everybody wants to. I mean, and there's no shame in saying that I want to make money. I want to make a living out of what I do. What's wrong with that? You know?
Exactly. Yep.
And I saw that, but once I joined the NFT space, I realized that this is the beginning of something really big, and the community is just so uh, you know together. They really look out for each other, especially the remix community is just amazing. I've had such a good
Right.
experience working with them. So it's been a learning. I've been evolving. Yeah, for me, NFTs would be getting better at what I do, hopefully, and keep doing that. And I never imagined that I would put out a project like hand-drawn loops
Right.
uh, outside the NFT community, and also, I could also pick topics which are global, you know, the global context, based on the global context, because up until now, I've been doing Indian context based art, and I've also gotten into trouble because of it.
I can see
If
that.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, like for instance, if I have to express something like King John Jung turning into
Right.
uh, Dalai Lama from the hand-drawn loops, so basically, I'm just showing, what humans are capable of, going from, um, merciless to a very peaceful human being. If I try to do that with an Indian context, say if I pick some,
It won't
you
fly.
know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I've
know.
gotten it for reflecting on certain topics, like social commentary in India is very difficult, and after a point, it gets tiring. You know, it.
Of course.
Yeah, so I'm planning to do more of this social commentary in the future, uh, whenever whenever the time comes, using the using NFT as a space,
No,
and
I love that.
hopefully,
And I love that you want to kind of test the waters and, just try different things to touch on these
yeah,
concepts because that's what
yeah,
makes you, right?
yes.
So cool.
So,
Yeah.
how, if I may ask, how are you connected in the NFT space? When did you join this
Yeah.
crypto space,
Wow. I
blockchain
appreciate
space?
that. No one's ever asked me a question. I appreciate that. I think like most people, NBA Top Shot, over,
Okay.
I think January 2020 was when it first started, or 2021, sorry. So all of
Oh,
last year, I went through the rabbit hole, of Top Shot, NFTs, apes, everything, and trying to understand what's happening. I experienced a rug pull, you know. So I really got the full experience last year of making some money, losing a lot of money, and
okay.
more importantly, meeting people like the Remix family, which you met, and people in the
Yeah,
APE DAO, and so there's a lot of cool people in the community. I think that's what's been most amazing for me, and to be able to connect with people like you, right?
yeah. Likewise, likewise.
So that's always been exciting. And obviously, now that NFTs are more mainstream, I'm even more excited because I think this year and the next few years it'll keep unfolding more and more. And we'll, like
Yeah,
you
I
said,
want. Yeah, I
we'll,
really want to see where this heads. Yeah.
exactly. That's a good question because my next question for you was, what got you into this space? Was there a project or a person that got you in?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, when you have already a lot of followers, they tend to send you a lot of links. So
Yeah.
they sent me all kinds of artworks, making millions of dollars, and they're like, "What are you doing? You need to get into this space." I'm like, "What are you saying? You're never going to buy my NFT. Just shut up." But then I realized that, yeah, all Indians, like, they really push you to do things, and they never participate. So they were like, "You need to release. You will make a lot of money."
But they won't
So
buy.
yeah. So what happened is, I realized that my work actually got a lot of internet fame in 2016, 2017, when I started releasing these evolution gifs, where I would take a famous personality and I make different avatars and I stitch it together, and it got a lot of it did a lot of runs on Reddit, and it got famous on 9gag. It got picked up by 9gag, and Boat Panda, they really loved it, so they put it out. So
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
think those are the things that uh, did well internationally. So I thought maybe this is a great way to connect to collectors outside India, and that's what happened. uh, I started my journey on foundation, and it started doing well. I mean, I started getting bids, and then I took a break, a 2-3 months break, because I was like, I'm not going to keep posting. I need to I need to do a collection. I wanted to do a collection,
Right.
and and that's how it started. I started thinking about hand-drawn loops, and I'm so glad that I happened to do. One of my first buyers is someone from the remix community. The
Oh.
Kylo. Kylo is
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
yeah, and he got in touch with me for the remix ape. He was like, "Would you like to do a derivative?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So I made that Rajasthani ape,
Yeah.
and
I have that one.
yeah,
That's my favorite one. No
oh,
bias.
nice.
Yeah.
And it's doing well. I mean, it's way above the floor price. Yeah, I checked it today. I'm so happy that it's doing okay, not bad.
No, I,
So
I,
yeah,
I love that.
we are thinking of releasing a whole series of Indian apes, and my mind is going all over the place. And
Wow.
it's going to, yeah, it's it's incredible. It just makes me laugh, the things that I've already done. Like I'm testing the derivative, and
Yeah.
it's just hilarious. It's too funny,
I would
and
love to see a sneak peek offline later if possible.
yeah,
Because
why
that,
not?
that excites me. I love that you continue to do more. And I know we'll talk on
Yeah,
some of the projects coming up, but I wanted to ask you before I forget, because you've done a lot of, I did some research and I've seen a lot of cool articles and obviously a lot of the artwork you've created. But
yeah,
recently, you did the mashup with Freddie Couple and Ranveer, and it seemed that got
yeah,
you some good notoriety, some good PR. Is what was the
yeah.
what why did you make this piece? Did it just come to you?
To be honest, I haven't even seen the movie. I've seen the trailers, and I saw
I
this
love it.
Ranveer, and I was like, this guy
Yeah,
looks hilarious. He's got his teeth out, and
yeah,
he looks like a mashup of Freddy and Kapil Dev. So I decided to do that. And coincidentally, Ranveer Singh is a huge fan of Freddie Mercury. And I saw his pictures of him dressed up as Freddie Mercury. You can check that, Ranveer Singh dressed up as Freddie Mercury. So it was easy to get some kind of reference.
no, that's amazing. And then I just to add to that too, like I first personally discovered you obviously through Remix because that's who I'm a part of. But the first time I saw your ape, I was like, I did because I didn't know you had done the ape derivative, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
and when I realized, okay, we had to buy an ape to get access into Remix Club, to be part of the membership. As soon as I saw that ape, I got it. I was like, oh, this is perfect. And I was like, who's the artist? And I started to dig into your background. And then, I started to see the loops. Who was the first person you ever did like a loop on?
The first person would be someone from the collection. I think it was,
Okay.
one second. I think it was, yeah, it was Vitalik. Vitalik turning into an
Ah,
alien. That
okay,
was the
okay.
first one. And that's the one that I showed to Kyle. And I said that I'm interested in doing this. They sent a mail saying that we want to promote other artists, and this is
Right.
how we're doing. So I was like, this is the right chance, because honestly, I don't like getting into the whole back end. I don't like getting into,
It's a lot. Yeah.
it's a lot.
Developing
But,
website, all that stuff. Yeah.
if I could just work on the art, I'm happy. I'm extremely
Spoken like a
happy.
true artist. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that's my roadmap.
yeah.
The work, and just stick to what you're good at. That's the roadmap. And see where it goes.
The style of the loops. First of all, the style is amazing. The way you're drawing it, and the colors, the character design. Is that inspired by someone or something, or is that just something you just came up with like that style?
Well, the whole concept of loops. I mean, I was at a friend's place, and we were both baked, and we started watching the 1930s 1930s animation, black and white
Okay.
animation, the,
Yeah.
the adult cartoons, like BoJack.
Right.
There's Pete. There's a lot of other, and I was like, man, this is nuts, because they used a lot of loops back then. Just looping videos. Like if someone's walking, it's just a loop. or if
Right,
someone's
right.
eating, it's a loop. And it looked creepy and fascinating at the same time. I wanted to bring that vibe into the work. I don't know why. I just so it's kind of absurd if you see, like for instance, Elon Musk turning into a dog. It's very random. And our man, what's that? Shit. Fuck. Why am I thinking Bill Cosby? Amazon.
Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff was the funniest
Bezos.
one.
Yeah, so Bezos turning into
Yeah.
a rocket. So the whole, the animation. I wanted to capture the rawness of vintage cartoons, but at the same time try to keep it smooth. It was very challenging because I used a Windows Media Player to make these loops. I didn't
Windows
use any.
Media Player.
Yes, Windows Movie Maker. Sorry.
Oh my god.
I used, yeah, it's embarrassing to bring that up when people ask what tools you use. So I just
Wow.
so each and every frame is drawn, and each and every frame is, transitioning into the next entity in the loop. So it was done using the most primitive software and a mouse. So yeah,
Right.
so yes, it was challenging, but it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed making it definitely,
No,
and I got full freedom from these guys. They never told me that don't do this, don't do
and
that.
yeah, that's one of the things I love about our team. And
Yeah,
that's how it should be, right?
it's brilliant. The amount of freedom. In fact, one of the loops that I was making was Charlie Chaplin turning into Hitler. So it was called
Yeah.
War and Peace. And I remember some of the collectors lost it. They got furious in one of the chats, the remix channel. They were like, "Are you crazy? What's wrong with you guys? Why are you guys glorifying Hitler?" Well, it wasn't glorifying Hitler. It was just a reflection of war and peace. But what I noticed is I apologized and I eventually said, I'm not going to put this up. But Tim was constantly defending the idea. And that's when I realized that this team really protects their artists and they
Yep.
love their artists.
100%.
And I've never seen that, especially, I've been a part of a lot of communities in India. And if something like this happens, there's just fingers pointing to different people. So
Right.
this was new for me. And in fact, Tim was let down that, I apologize. He was like, don't apologize. You're not done anything wrong, and let us handle it. But I was like, this need not get to Twitter and become ugly
Yeah.
and reflect badly on the remix community. So I was like, let's not do this,
Yep. No, that
And, yeah. But I see that there is a shift in how even big corporations are thinking now. Like Netflix is not canceling Chappelle, and
exactly.
Spotify is
Yep.
not banning Joe Rogan. So they are calling out this bullshit, bullying, or cancel culture, which
Yeah.
is great. They're being very careful, because before people would just panic and just cancel people. They would just ban artists without considering what's going to happen, without really thinking about
The RAM. Exactly. There's
yeah
not
the
really
rep-
too much thinking. It's just like, let's cancel them.
let's
And
cancel, we can
yeah.
afford to do that. But
Yeah.
now people are slowly realizing that the people who cancel on the internet, they they're not really, they don't matter, honestly, unless if it's something like really fucked up like Bill Cosby or
There's different things which we won't get into, but um
yeah,
I guess to finish on the loop side, and I don't know if you're
yeah,
allowed to say because maybe there's secrets or you're planning things, but you've done some really dope stuff, even Tupac, Biggie. I'm sure there's so many ideas you have. Where do you want to
yeah.
take this loops collection and these loops holders next?
I'm just right now the roadmap is to make as many as one or two every month, and also try to get like a big celebrity to make theirs and push this collection of
Right.
further out. So that's the plan. Other than that, I haven't really thought much. Uh, Another limitation is that it's a GIF, it's an animation, and
Right.
animations are not doing as well as stills because PFPs are
Exactly.
profile
Yeah.
pictures.
Right.
That's another thing. So I might release hand-drawn stills. I don't know, and,
Interesting.
and have just the still images so that people can use that stuff like that. So I've just planned, and right now I'm busy working on two projects, and I can't speak much about it. But it's going to be again Indian context. I
Love
released
it.
a 10K. I've worked on a 10K project, but it's on the Binance chain, and it did pretty well. We sold about 1,300 pieces, and we have locked it. I mean, we had released 10K, which I suggested maybe it's too much, but the collective or the
The group. Yeah.
founder member, yeah, was like, we will do 10K. But I was pretty surprised that it even got to 1,300, and now we have locked the others, and we're going to release it again. So it's doing pretty good for Binance. It's doing pretty good.
I was actually going to ask you about that. That was my last thing with CSS Club. So I guess
Yeah.
for CSS Club, you're simply just a designer. You're not part of the founding team.
No, yeah, I'm just the art director,
Got it.
and that's about it. I mean, I provide the art. The idea was all Kunal's and the founder member, and he said that we should do this, and I was like, okay, uh, I will help you out with this, and that's how we did it. And yeah,
Got it.
he's been very sweet. Again, he has never told me don't do this, don't do that, and that's one of the things I like about working with uh, people in the NFT. Some of my collectors, if I'm comfortable with them, I would definitely work, because they've never asked for changes.
Right.
Even when I made the Indian derivative for remix, there were no changes asked for. They were like, "Yeah, this is cool," and they just took it.
That was
But
it.
that's not the culture in India. Most of the clients, they tend to ask for changes, and it's really terrible. Working with Indian clients. I'm sorry to say this, but that's how it is. My wife handles the clients, which is why the company is still around. If it was me,
It would have
I
been
think
gone.
I've been shut. Yeah.
No. That's amazing. So I guess to end it off is like you're working on two secret projects, which I'm sure everyone will be excited to see soon. What else is on the horizon, or what else is Prasad Bhat, looking to do in 2022 and beyond?
Yeah, these are the two projects. They're going to be. I think one is going to be a 5K, and another is a 10K project.
Okay.
Other than that, I haven't really thought of much. I'm planning to sort of collaborate with people who are not in the NFT space and sort of give
Yeah.
them the platform. So I did work with the graffiti artists who did a fabulous job on the
On the
remix
ape.
ape.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. So stuff like that. I want to work with people who are out of the NFT space, and I don't know how to bring them in the space. Since anything can be an NFT, but still there are some people who don't know how to, and don't I mean, they're not very tech savvy, and stuff like that. So I'm going to be working with artists. There are some painters who still paint those movie posters in Mumbai, so I might collaborate with
Wow.
them, stuff like that. Yeah.
That's cool. No, I think there's just so much untapped potential in India. And I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
as you being in that driver's seat, one of the leaders, I think you'll be able to uncover and do a lot of cool things over the next few years. I think as more people
True.
especially learn about this, right? And
Yeah.
and come for collabs and things. No, that's amazing, man. Look, I'm excited to see what you have coming next with your APE project and everything else, and obviously the next loops that are coming up.
Yeah, man, thank you.
And also hopefully looking forward to coming back to Delhi one day soon. And we'll see what happens. We plan for April. So if it stays that way and we come out there, I'll definitely shoot you a message.
Okay, awesome. So your folks are in Delhi.
Yeah, your family is a lot of family is out in Delhi. No, I look forward to it, man. Look, I love the art. I love getting a chance to talk to you and learn more about your history and who you are. And I'm sure the
Yeah.
Remix family will be excited to see this. So thank you again. Thank you again for the time, and looking forward to see what you come up with next.
Thank you so much. Yeah, let's connect again.